It is July 2026, and the United States has reached its semi-quinticentennial, the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Millions of people spent the long weekend packing into stadiums and public squares to mark the milestone and watch the 2026 World Cup. But across those exact same 72 hours, the nationwide celebrations collided with a uniquely American reality. Between early Saturday and Monday morning, axing a nationwide party with an entrenched crisis. When you map out what happened over this specific anniversary weekend, it acts as a very clear, very grim microcosm of a much larger public health emergency. On Sunday night in East Los Angeles, a massive crowd gathered to watch Mexico play in the World Cup knockout stage. After the team was eliminated, an argument broke out. A suspect pulled a gun and fired into the crowd, striking 2 intended targets and 2 bystanders, including a woman and a young boy. Over in Texas, the busy streets of Austin saw their own string of fatal altercations. 2 people in their late teens and early 20s were shot and killed in a nightclub parking lot early Sunday morning. That came just hours after another man was shot to death outside a nearby sports bar. In Compton, California, 3 people died in 2 separate shootings that broke out during neighborhood Independence Day block parties. And in the South, gunfire at a large crowd in South Carolina left 2 men dead, while a single incident in Mississippi killed 2 people and wounded 9 others. These were watch parties, local block parties, and nights out at sports bars. The entirely ordinary nature of these gatherings shows that no community was insulated from the violence this weekend. Data shows this is a recurring pattern. Multiple studies indicate that major holidays often act as a statistical catalyst for gun violence in the U.S. You take densely packed crowds, introduce alcohol and heightened emotions, then mix in easy access to firearms. It creates a highly volatile sociological environment. That underlying formula takes spaces designed for celebration and turns them into environments where a simple argument can easily become fatal. To understand the true scale of what happened over the 4th of July, we have to look past those 72 hours and examine the tracking data from the Gun Violence Archive. This animated chart plots U.S. mass shootings leading up to July 2026, growing to 224 events. When we isolate the 43 deaths from the holiday weekend, they become a continuation of that trend line. Widening the picture, the database records 6,604 gun fatalities nationwide. Set against a number that large, the individual tragedies in Los Angeles, Austin, and Compton are rapidly absorbed into the statistical background. With thousands of fatalities already on the books for the year, a weekend like this isn't an outlier. It's a consistent feature of a systemic crisis. Despite the undeniable data and the persistent loss of life, Congress remains unable to implement any substantial federal firearms control. What we are left with is a normalized baseline of violence. This level of casualty is no longer a shock to the system. It is an expected outcome baked directly into the American calendar. The semi-quincentennial was supposed to be a historic milestone, a moment dedicated to reflecting on 2.5 centuries of progress. The evidence shows that without structural shifts, the cost of a national celebration has become a recurring and measurable loss of life. As the United States marked its 250th birthday, the sounds of celebratory fireworks echoed across the country, entirely indistinguishable from the sounds of a crisis its leaders refused to solve.